Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. Welcome to this live stream, which is Race for the Title, Premier League title race. I'm going to be predicting what's going to happen in the 10 remaining games of the season. I'm not going to talk about every game because we're going to be here forever if we're going to talk about every game. But I'm probably going to talk about the games, each game and each column, all in one, to be honest with you. Obviously I'll give my predictions afterwards. Obviously I'll show you my store predictions afterwards. And obviously show what that would mean for the league table. So starting off, obviously, looking at the league table, they are the percentages at the moment. Arsenal on top with 28 games, Liverpool 28 games, City all on 28 games. Arsenal and Liverpool tied on points with City 4, Arsenal top and goal difference with a better goal difference with plus 46, Liverpool plus 39, Manchester City plus 35, City 1 point behind Arsenal and Liverpool. The title percentage shows 19% Arsenal, 35% Liverpool, and 46% Man City. My thoughts on that percentage, I can only think they're down on the Pats. To be honest with you. With Liverpool and Man City, obviously they've won the title under their respective mindsets. I think people are right in saying that. I think people do have a point when they say, but Liverpool haven't really shown the mentality to get over the line when they were up against Man City. The only time Liverpool won the Premier League is obviously when Man City fell off at the start of the season. So we've not actually overcame Man City, really, in terms of the 2018-19 and 21-22 titles, which is a fair point, which is absolutely a fair point from Arsenal fans. But at the end of the day, Liverpool have still won the league. They've still won the league. Arteta has only won the FA Cup, which was actually when he first came in to Arsenal. And Arsenal fans said that was a top 6 squad, but yet they still won the fucking FA Cup. So I do think 19% is harsh though on Arsenal. I do think 19% is harsh because for me, they're the favourites for me, Arsenal. If we're judging on this season, Arsenal are the favourites because they're top. Arsenal are top. Going into this national break, Arsenal have to be favourites for me. All the pressure should be on Arsenal because they're top of the league. They know the goal difference. So yeah, Arsenal have all the pressure. That's what I say. Yeah, Arsenal have all the pressure, and it is a tough question. Would you rather be Chase or would you rather be the chaser? When you're coming up against Manchester City, you would rather be Chase, to be honest with you, because if you get Man City, they're ahead of Liverpool. Never mind Liverpool, but they're ahead of Arsenal as well. You have to say Man City. For me, you get them dead ahead, you're not touching them, unfortunately. Simple as that. It's that brutal. It is that brutal and ruthless. But on the other hand, you could say it's not really the same Man City from previous seasons. But my point still stands. If you let Man City get ahead of you in the table, I don't think you're going to touch them, in my opinion. When I'm talking about the 1-in. Don't let Man City get ahead of you in the 1-in. Early in the season, Man City do drop points in terms of first half of the season because it takes them a lot to get going. So yeah, but that's my thoughts on that. it's still anyone's title to win for me. Still anyone's title to win. I make Arsenal favourites, in my opinion. I think they need to swap the percentages around, in my opinion. And people be like, oh, you're having a laugh. No, I'm not having a laugh. I'm not having a laugh. I think you don't make Arsenal favourites, in my opinion. And for me, they should have all the pressure on them. And they don't have a lot of questions, Arsenal. They don't have a lot of questions in this running. Now they are leading in the running. We saw what happened last season when they were in the running last season. They bottled it. I'm sorry, all these Arsenal fans, they like to flip it. They like to flip it onto Liverpool, saying, oh, Liverpool bottlers then, only using out on 1 point. Arsenal had an 8-point lead last season. Arsenal had an 8-point lead. The truth hurts. The truth hurts for some Arsenal fans. They bottled it last season. They bottled it. They let Man City back in, and that was it. It was game over after that. It's game over after that. But this is obviously different now. There's 3 teams in it. There's 3 teams in title race. I must say, I did not expect us to be in it. So I think we should be the team with less pressure on us, in my opinion. I think all the pressure's on City and Arsenal. City are the best team in England. Are the best team in England, defending champions of the Premier League, defending champions of the Champions League. Arsenal, they were the closest chances last season. So all the pressure for me should be on City and Arsenal, in my opinion. Which makes it a massive game between Man City and Arsenal coming up after the international break. Whoever does win that, it's a statement. Simple as that. Whoever does win that game. I think Arsenal are definitely capable of winning that Man City. I'm not interested in the past record Arsenal have at Man City. You need to hurt Man City, in my opinion. You need to take something off Man City, which is what Liverpool did at Anfield, which is what Liverpool did at Etihad. Both draws. Arsenal should be happy with a draw, in my opinion. I think Arsenal will take a point, in my opinion. I know, even though it will use top spots to Liverpool, if Liverpool do their job, then it's Brighton, which I think they will. Brighton just not the same, unfortunately, and the Dr. K is missing. But you got to feel Arsenal it's a must not use for Arsenal at Man City. Must not use. I think a point is a sensible result for Arsenal. I think it hurts City more. If it's a point, I think it hurts City more than Arsenal. Obviously, it won't rule either team out the title race, even if it is a draw. But it got to hurt City by taking points off them. But obviously, City will be taking points off Arsenal by drawing with them. And in terms of the first column of games, I've done for Man City Arsenal to be a draw. And that would be a good result for Liverpool. I think even a Man City win might be a good result for Liverpool. I think it'd be bad for Arsenal if they do use the Man City. It'll feel like a killer pure, in my opinion. I wouldn't say it will Arsenal outfit, but it's like I said earlier, you can't get Man City that ahead of you in the title race. I just think it would be a killer pure if you did use, in my opinion, to City. So I think City versus Arsenal will end in the draw because I can't call that game. I really can't call it. I think it's going to be different to last season. I don't think it's going to be a thrashing. I think Arsenal on the counter attack, I don't be dangerous for that Man City back line, in my opinion. But it's at home, it's at the Etihad. I can't see Man City using at the Etihad. I can't see Arsenal winning at the Etihad. I think it'll be a draw. Between Man City and Arsenal. And I think Arsenal, they are quite strong defensively as well. I think it's going to be one of them games. I do think it's going to be one of them games for me. And I do think Liverpool will do the job at home to Brighton. And what's key about that is Liverpool played before that Man City Arsenal game on the same day. So Liverpool need to do the job put massive pressure on both teams to try and play out a draw. And I think Liverpool will definitely do the job at home to Brighton. Brighton slightly dropped off in that season, got injuries, Brighton, and I think Brighton are there to be got at, in my opinion, and to score 3 goals past them, in my opinion. I mean, if Newton can score 4 past Brighton, I think Liverpool can definitely do that, in my opinion. But it's different games, isn't it? It's different games. Brighton would have went for it more against Newton. Brighton will be more cautious at Anfield, but I think we can get in behind the defence easily, and I think we can cut them off easily. So I think Liverpool will be top after that first column of games. Then on to the second column of games, we've got Arsenal at home to Luton, Liverpool at home to Sheffield United, Man City at home to Aston Villa. Man City, Aston Villa, that's the toughest one for me. I think Arsenal will do the job at home to Luton. And again, could be about goal difference for Arsenal once again. Regardless of the result at Man City. Same Arsenal and Liverpool, we got with them Newton and Sheffield United games thinking about goal difference for me. Get the goal difference up. With no disrespect to Newton. I mean, Newton were 1-0 up at Anfield, and Liverpool still ended up beating Newton comfortably in the end, 4-1. Man City still have to play Newton at home. I think Man City do a job at home to Newton, but we'll get onto that. And I think Arsenal is too strong defensively, and I think it'll be a relatively comfortable 3-0 win for Arsenal against Newton. As for us at home to Sheffield United, I expect goals. From our side. I expect us, if Arsenal can score, 6 at Sheffield United, I think you expect us to do that, in my opinion. Sheffield United are the worst team, probably the worst team in this Premier League this season, and probably one of the worst teams in Premier League history, this Sheffield United team, in my opinion. So I expect a quicker score from Liverpool, not stupid. I expect us to want them goals up and try and get that goal difference up as well, in my opinion. And I think that's the bad thing for Man City. Man City be thinking, well, Arsenal and Liverpool, straightforward wins for them. Massive pressing on us at home to Aston Villa. Aston Villa is obviously the toughest game in that column. Well, in that war, for me, when you look at the second amount of games, Aston Villa will give Man City a proper one for the money, and we do think that. But I think Man City will just nick the win over Aston Villa. So I think it'll be a clean sweep of wins in terms of the second war of games. In terms of the third war of games, we've got Arsenal away at Brighton, Liverpool away at Manchester United, and Manchester City away at Crystal Palace. So I think it's all foregone conclusions for Arsenal and Man City. I expect them to do the jobs at Brighton and Palace. Obviously, difficult away games for Arsenal will do the job at Brighton. I think the 2 good for Brighton. And Man City will do the job at Palace. It's that game, isn't it, for Liverpool away to Manchester United. For me, for Liverpool, I picked out 3 games for me. I said I picked out 3 games for Liverpool: away to Man United, away to Everton, and away to Aston Villa. All 3 games for me. They're the games for Liverpool to win the league, in my opinion. If you win them games, especially all 3 games, if you win all 3 games, Liverpool win the league. Simple as that. It's the same with Arsenal when you look at their games, and same with Man City as well. But in terms of third world, the games, I think Arsenal will beat Brighton. I think Man City will beat Palace. I'm worried about the Man United game. For me. But it could work in our favour because it was a draw at Anfield. They beat us in the FA Cup in that absolute classic of the FA Cup game. So it probably leads to a Liverpool win in terms if it does like that way. But I think Manchester United will be more cautious. they'll set up more defensively like they did at Anfield, in my opinion, especially for the United as well. We don't know what Man United going to be playing for. Manchester United, they're still far behind 4th and 5th, in my opinion, Manchester United, but that gap is closing. They've made up for it more, Man United, but I think Man United in the United, they'll be cautious, in my opinion, set up more defensively, try and frustrate us. Man United will try and frustrate us in the United. They'll let us have all the ball as well and try and hit us on the counter. And Manchester United don't be dangerous on the counter in the United. Rashford, he can run in behind our defence, especially up front as well. I think Rashford's more of a threat for some reason when he's up front. When he's in the middle, than he is on the left. I think Rashford's still a threat though. He can get in behind our defence with his pace. And it's what I've seen Manchester United doing. It's what I've seen Manchester United doing for me. Like, I can see them letting us have all the ball. It's up to us to try and break Manchester United down. Be patient, because it will be one of them games for me. Be a tight game. And I think Manchester United, unfortunately, I think they'll get a goal on counter-attack. Get on counter-attack and put a dent in our title hopes, in my opinion. That's my fear, and that's what I can see happening. So I'm 1-0. I think Manchester United will actually get the win over us. Which wouldn't put us out of it, I don't think. It won't put us out of it, but it will put a dent in our title hopes. Then we move on to the next World Games. Arsenal at home to Fur. Unai Emery done back to the Emirates. And I think Emery would have a point to prove as well. Will have a point to prove after he was treated like shit, basically, from Arsenal fans with his time there. Liverpool at home to Crystal Palace. I think that's gonna be a comfortable win for us, in my opinion. I think we'll do the job at home to Crystal Palace. Plus Palace, I don't think they'll have anything to play for. Where yesterday, I think Palace will be safe by then. And Palace, they are there to be done at defensively as well. And Man City at home to Luton. Like I said, I think Man City will do the job as well at home to Luton. They will try and get that goal difference up as well at home to Luton, for example. In terms of Luton, I don't think they should be focusing on them games. For Luton, it's teams in the round them that they're the games they'll be focusing on in terms of where they're in battle. So yeah, I think Liverpool will do the job at home to Crystal Palace. I think City will do the job at home to Luton. And I think Arsenal will get the win shut at home to Aston Villa. It'll be a tight game against Unai Emery's men. But I think Arsenal just get it done, in my opinion. So on to the next World Games. Got Wolves away for Arsenal, which is going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Arsenal. Away to Fulham for Liverpool. You know what? Away to Fulham's a pretty tough PS daughter. We saw what happened to Tottenham when they went to Fulham. Got an absolute beating. It's just Craven Totters for you, isn't it? Craven Totters. It's going to be a tight game. And City away to Spurs. So they are tough games. They're more games, in my opinion. They are going to be tight games for me. They are going to be tight games for me as well. I just think Arsenal, they'll be happy. Pedro Neto be out injured. Because that would be a threat for them. I think Wolves will still be a threat to Arsenal in that game. But I think it's going to be a hard fought. I think it's going to be a hard fought win for Arsenal. I really do think that at Wolves. I think Arsenal do get a hard fought win at Wolves. Same with Liverpool. I think Liverpool get a hard fought win at Fulham, in my opinion, in a tough game with Craven Totters. Then you go on to that game between Spurs and Man City. Man City seem to have a curse at Spurs in terms of the need. in terms of the lead. Well, it seems like a recent thirst than Spurs, don't it, in terms of the lead. Obviously, they beat Spurs in the FA Cup, Man City. They did beat Spurs in the FA Cup, obviously, a couple of months ago at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think that game's going to be chaos. I honestly think that game's going to be chaos. I think it's going to be a classic. I think there's going to be goals in that game as well. Spurs are still going to be fighting for top four by then as well, with Aston Villa and potentially Manchester United if Man United falls at that all of a sudden. And I think Spurs, Man City can get in behind Spurs' defence, in my opinion. Spurs are just too open defensively. I think it's going to be a chaotic game, honestly. I think it's going to be a chaotic game. And I think Spurs, with their attack, they can cause problems to Man City. Heung-min Son is always a threat, always stores against Man City as well. Richarlison's doing well as well for Spurs. Timo Werner, his pacing behind as well. I'm not for Spurs to win. I'm massively for Spurs to dent Man City's title hopes. I think it's going to be classic. I think it's going to be dull fits. Could be any store, honestly. I think it's going to be that chaotic. And I think Spurs will continue that curse for Man City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in terms of the lead. And I think Spurs will put a dent in Man City's title hopes. The next World Games now. The next World Games, and look at that. Tottenham versus Arsenal. That's the big one, isn't it? That is a big one in that World Games. We go away to West Ham. Not going to be easy. Going away to West Ham. I know Arsenal won 6-0 at West Ham, but any other day that wouldn't be the storyline, in my opinion. Arsenal were just proper on it, weren't they, away at West Ham. And Man City go away to Forest. Man City go away to Forest. It ain't going to be easy. Liverpool struggled at Forest. We needed a last-minute winner. Arsenal only won 2-1 at Forest. But to be fair, Arsenal were 2-0 up in that game. But they had Forest back in it with a Conceição goal. So it can be tough to go to Forest. Man City 2 at Nottingham Forest last season as well. So Nottingham Forest will be battling for survival, especially now with the points deduction as well that they suffered. So it's a tricky game. It is a tricky game. It ain't going to be easy for Man City. But I do think Man City will just step past Nottingham Forest. I think it will be a tight game, crazy game as well. Away to West Ham for Liverpool. I think we will just get the job done and get over the line away at West Ham. But again, it could be a potential 12 points there. Going to West Ham Stadium, away to West Ham in a title running as well. They have dented other teams' title hopes before, Spurs especially in 2016-17 as well. So they are capable at Arsenal last season as well. So tricky pace of daughter in the title running away to West Ham, but I think Liverpool just win. They just get over the line, in my opinion. And Arsenal daughter Spurs, and off a draw. I do think Spurs, they're going to be so up for it. Spurs, they don't want Arsenal winning the league. They'll do everything they can to even try and beat Arsenal as well. But they do need to be careful, Spurs, because, like I said, they are too often defensively, and Arsenal are going to find space behind them, in my opinion, with their front three as well. And then I think it's going to be a chaotic game. A bit like Spurs Man City, I think that'll be chaotic. And I think this will be chaotic as well. A chaotic London derby, in my opinion. And I'm going to go for a draw in that one between Spurs and Arsenal. I can't see Arsenal using Spurs. I just think Arsenal too strong defensively. So I can't see them using Spurs. So in terms of the next World Games, we've got Arsenal at home to Bournemouth. We've got Udds at home to Spurs. And Man City at home to Wolves. Again, it'll be a tough game for Man City against Wolves. Wolves seem to have had Man City's number, especially in past seasons as well, especially when they were under Nuno. They won, obviously, this season at home to Man City under Dario O'Neill. And so it's going to be a tough game for Man City. It'll be a tough game, but Man City at home, you can't bet against them. And I think Man City just out over the line against Wolves. Arsenal at home to Bournemouth. Arsenal struggled to Bournemouth last season, didn't they? I know it was Bournemouth under Gary O'Neill, but Arsenal struggled at home to Bournemouth last season. Needed a Reiss Nelson winner, 3-2, which was a big win in terms of title race for Arsenal last season, which I think sent them 8 points here. But I will say, I think Arsenal do get over the line at home to Bournemouth. Again, I think it'd be a tight game, though. Be a tight game. A bit like, I think it'd be a bit like the Brentford game at home for Arsenal that we saw recently, where Brentford, they were a threat. I think Bournemouth will be a threat, especially with Sriante up front. But I think Arsenal get over the line against Bournemouth. And Liverpool versus Tottenham, this could be bold, you know. This might be a bold statement for me. I think we ripped Tottenham apart. I think we ripped them apart at Anfield, in my opinion. If this was at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I think it'd be a different game, definitely. But I think at home, at Anfield, crowd don't be up for it. Tottenham are there to be dot at defensively. I actually think we ripped Tottenham apart at Anfield, in my opinion. I honestly think we ripped Tottenham apart at Anfield. So that's that War of Games. On to the next War of Games, got Manchester United against Arsenal. And Liverpool, doorway to Aston Villa. And Man City, doorway to Fulham. Tell you what, they're all tough games. Man City, door to Craven Cottage. Not easy, doorway to Craven Cottage. One of the most feared crowns, especially in a title winning as well. Liverpool, doorway to Aston Villa. Aston Villa have already beaten Arsenal and Man City at home, especially as well. So I do fear he was in that game. And Arsenal, doorway to Man United. Manchester United and Arsenal have had rivalries in the past. And I still think Man United would definitely still turn up in that game against Arsenal. But they'll be thinking to themselves, Man United fans, especially Man United fans, will be thinking to themselves, give Arsenal to win because they don't want Liverpool or Man City winning the title. But obviously, in terms of on the pitch, they won't be thinking that way. And I can see Manchester United again setting up more cautiously, like they did, like the World End Suds in the league game. It's all about Arsenal, especially that time of the season as well. With obviously the Chelsea, Everton, and Brighton games still need to be rescheduled for the 3 teams. Obviously, I think it'll be before. I think them games will be before the Man United game for Arsenal, but we'll get onto them games in a minute. But that Man United game is going to be obviously the second last weekend of the season, and that is going to be a pressure game. That is going to be a massive pressure game for Arsenal as well. And it's not been Arsenal. I honestly done off for something bold here. I'm done off for something bold, and I think it will happen last year. I actually think all 3 teams on that week were all top points, in my opinion. I think we don't see something unbelievable, chaotic, in my opinion. I think Man City actually draw away at Fulham. I think Liverpool draw away to Aston Villa. And I think Arsenal get beat. I actually think Arsenal do get beat. At Old Trafford, in my opinion. I actually do think that. I actually think Arsenal do get beat at Old Trafford, in my opinion. So, 2 more War of Games to go. We'll go for the bottom row, which is Chelsea, Everton, and Brighton, the games that have to be rescheduled. Arsenal at home to Chelsea. Don't be a tough one because you just don't know what Chelsea are going to get. They're a box of chocolates, but Chelsea just seem to turn up more for the big games. Obviously, apart from Liverpool at Anfield, where we ripped them apart at Anfield. But they got a draw away at Man City. Probably should have won. away at Man City, in my opinion. They went to Spurs and won 4-1 as well. So again, it's another game for Arsenal. It's another game where it's Chelsea at the end of the day. Chelsea don't want Arsenal winning the league. Obviously, London rivals, of course. So Chelsea, I think they'll turn up as well and make it really tough for Arsenal. But I haven't done for Arsenal just to nick it. I think Arsenal will just nick it against Chelsea. Away to Everton for Liverpool. Merseyside derby. Don't matter where both teams are in the table. Merseyside derby. Everton at home. Home fans, they'll want Liverpool winning the league. They won't want Liverpool winning the league. Sean Dyche at home as well. I do fear this. I do worry about that game as well. Where Everton, Sean Dyche, he's on set up defensively, isn't he? Against Liverpool, trying to frustrate us as well. And Liverpool, again, it's going to be like away to Man United in the league. We need to be patient. We will need to be patient. But don't know where to Everton, even the title running them, it's a nightmare ground. Honestly, it's a nightmare ground to daughter. And I do think we'll drop points there, unfortunately. I think we'll get a draw. I think we will draw at Everton. And Man City don't know where to Brighton. I think Man City. I think Man City do the job at Brighton, in my opinion. It's not the Brighton from last season. It's not the Brighton from the first half of the season. I mean, Liverpool, to be fair, struggled at Brighton, 2-2. So maybe Arsenal and Man City need to look out for that. Don't know where to Brighton, but I think Man City will do the job, in my opinion, away at Brighton. And plus, Brighton probably won't have anything to play for either. I think they're the perfect games for me when you come up against teams who have nothing to play for. And finally, now down to the final day. The final day fixtures. It all depends, doesn't it? I do think it is gonna, from my calculations, it will go all the way to the final day of the season. For me, I actually think Liverpool and Arsenal will actually be tied on points going into the final day, and I think Man City will be 1 point behind. And I think all three teams on the final day do all get the win, in my opinion. Do all get wins. I think Arsenal will get a tight win. Will eventually break Everton down to get a 1-0 win against Everton. I think Liverpool. No, actually, we're down to Man City. I think Man City would do a job on West Ham. West Ham's poor away from home. But saying that, they beat Arsenal away from home, didn't they? But yeah, I think Arsenal really should have won that game, really. I think Man City do a job at home to West Ham. And finally, I think it's going to be the fairy tale final day for Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's final Premier League game at Anfield. And I actually think we're going to get the Premier League trophy in his final farewell tour and win 2-1. So they're the results. They're the score predictions I've done for all the remaining games of the season. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below. And in terms of my final Premier League table prediction, I don't think Liverpool to win the title on just by one goal on goal difference. I think it's going to be that tight. I think Liverpool and Arsenal will be tied on points, but I think Liverpool will win it on goal difference by one goal, in my opinion. I've been Man City. For Man City, for me, I think this is all about winning. For Man City, all about winning the games. I don't think they've done a touch up in terms of goal difference to Liverpool and Arsenal. It's all about winning their games for Man City. But that's my Premier League table prediction after predicting the remaining games. So I'm going to leave it there. So feel free to leave your predictions down below if you're watching this on playback. Take care, stay safe, see you later, and put on the title race. After this national break. It's going to be tense. There's going to be tension. It's going to be intense as well. It's going to be chaotic. And it could well be the greatest Premier League title race we've ever seen. Fingers crossed. It's a 3-horse race. Who's going to win it? Who's going to win it, people? Is it done before in the war for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City? Is Mikel Arteta finally done a debt over the line in terms of winning the big trophy, the big honours, and win Arsenal their first Premier League title in 20 years? Or is it going to be the fairy tale final farewell tour for Jurgen Klopp? Will Liverpool lift the Premier League trophy at Lyon Nats in front of fans after not lifting it in front of fans in 2020? Feel free to leave your thoughts down below. If you're watching on playback, take care and bring on the title. Who will win it?